You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
But hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hi, hello, good morning. How are you? It is a Wednesday, and we welcome you inside our halftime studios. I'm Phil Elson, Matty T, SmackDown, along for the ride today, along with you. 877-377-6963 is the number to get to. A lot to talk about Arkansas versus Mississippi State. We're going to be crumpling a box score in about an hour.
I get to experience this for the first time.
That's right. You've heard about it. That means you can put the meat hooks away. That SmackDown has usually been counting down to the weekend when we get to the middle of the week, right at the second hour of our Wednesday show. So the meat hooks will not be blowing out your eardrums in an hour. But instead, we're crumpling up a box score that showed Arkansas losing to Georgia 37-10 and putting that game to bed, forgetting about it completely, and moving on to what's happening on Saturday, which really is now more important than what happened against Georgia. That one's done. Georgia doesn't care about it any longer. Arkansas shouldn't either. Coaches and players were talking yesterday about the upcoming opponent, and so that's what we'll focus on. And I see you've got a box score ready to crumple up to, SmackDown.
I got 22 pages of it ready to go for you.
You printed out the whole damn thing. Wow, I only did 5 pages. You're printing out everything.
Had to come prepared, ready to go. First game of the year.
Well, you do.
Granted,
I
only use. Like
I've got
10
strong
pages
hands. I have a feeling your hands are stronger than mine, so I think you'll have no trouble crumpling up 22 pieces of paper. Could I get you to rip a phone book in half? Or do they still make phone books?
Do they make those anymore?
Just the yellow pages.
Just the yellow pages. I could probably pull off the 10 page.
I mean, I know we were talking before the show, you're pretty good at milking cows with those big
It means he's got very strong
mitts.
hands and fingers. So, yep, I would imagine that phone book wouldn't last very long. So, we never got a yeah, right. We never got a chance to push the breaking news sounder yesterday. I thought that Steelers-Titans game would get postponed yesterday. And the NFL held on to hope that they could keep their schedule the way they wanted it to until apparently this morning. It does look like that game will be postponed, but not to another week. This will be pretty interesting because apparently they're going to try to play this game instead of Sunday, either Monday or Tuesday, which I guess this makes sense. You know, if you play plenty of Monday night games. I don't remember the last Tuesday night NFL game that I've seen. That should give the Steelers and Titans enough time to get prepared for the upcoming opponent. So maybe this is something that can actually work. See, the Titans are going to be down there. Their starting nose tackle, their long snapper. We've seen what missing your long snapper can do. That's more important than some people expect. And then I guess when their practice squad tight end also tested positive. So they're going to be shorthanded. And should be, I guess that announcement will come up sometime today, whether or not the game will be Monday or Tuesday. But it is officially then SmackDown, the first NFL postponement of the regular season. So if it's only postponed 1 or 2 days instead of by like 5 or 6 weeks, I guess that's somewhat of a win, right?
Absolutely.
And the NFL said, Goodell said, we expected this to happen. We will make adjustments accordingly, and it sounds like that's exactly what they're doing.
Kango, I mean, you'd be ignorant if you didn't believe that this wasn't going to happen. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I mean, we knew it would happen in Major League Baseball. Maybe not as quick as it did in Major League Baseball, but it happened. And like I said yesterday, you're testing out your protocols now. You're putting your protocols in place for how you're going to handle viruses infecting teams and causing postponements of games going back a day or two, or maybe if it continues to go 5 or 6 days and then worse to worse, who knows. But hopefully this is a one-time deal. To this point, Phil, I don't think we've heard if the virus was done through the game, if the players were irresponsible like pregame or postgame or anything like that. But hopefully this is a one-time deal, and it sounds like they're getting it nipped in the bud here pretty quick as far as making sure the game is played in a timely fashion. That way it doesn't disrupt the whole rest of the league.
Yeah, I don't know how the virus spread for the Titans. I did read, though, about Notre Dame's breakout. Did you see about this? They traced the breakout to the team meal before the South Florida game, and during the game, a player puking on the sidelines and then getting checked on and spreading the virus that way through the staff. Wow. That one hit me a little bit in the gut, just, reading about how this thing spread in the middle of a game and before the game. So they're going to have to figure out how to do their pregame meals a little bit differently. On a whole other topic, today's an historic baseball day. This is
it's a big day for you.
You've never had 8 playoff games on one day in Major League Baseball. Now, I hate this. I hate that there are 8 teams in the playoffs anyway, but it is kind of cool to have 8 playoff games today. This feels like NCAA tournament day, almost like the Sweet 16. You know what I mean? This is awesome.
Yeah, it's real good.
This is awesome.
Me and Maddie T were talking about it this morning, just not necessarily baseball, but just programming stuff that we've got coming here on ESPN Arkansas and across all our airwaves. If you're a sports fan in general,
it's a great time for you.
It's a great time to be alive. I mean, between, like you just said, 8 games today with Major League Baseball. Obviously SEC football's back, NBA Finals.
I just want to think about those words you just said. It's a great time to be alive. Now, for sports fans that want to watch stuff on television,
yes,
fine. I'm down with that. This is still the
compared
weirdest
to
time
like
that we've ever
before
lived
they
through.
had electricity, and you could, you had to
you
could die from,
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yes, let me rephrase that. Yes,
no, it's okay. I'm just giving
you understand what you understand what I mean.
Absolutely.
Though. I mean,
yeah.
never.
Hey, and you and I agree on this. October is the best sports month ever.
Easily.
It always
down.
is, and that's without the NBA Finals happening this October. This is usually when the NBA season starts, and you get your baseball playoffs, and you get your NFL season rounding into form, and the college football season kind of, rounding into whatever shape it's going to be. So, and now that you got the finals with all of that other stuff, and I know you're all, you're pretty fired up about some WWE pay-per-views and UFC stuff. Like, take that and throw it away. All the other professional sports stuff is the reason to be excited right now. And I love the fact that you got that baseball today, Major League Baseball has staggered the first pitches so that no game starts at the same time. You got the Reds and Braves starting in about an hour. Stros and Twins after that an hour. Marlins and Cubs an hour after that. Then you get Dallas Keuchel and the White Sox versus the A's at 2. 3 o'clock, the Blue Jays and the Rays. 4 o'clock, St. Louis at San Diego. 6 o'clock, Yankees try to finish a sweep of the Indians. And then 9 o'clock, Brewers and Dodgers. I don't know if I'm going to blink at all today, SmackDown. I'm just going to. And when I'm done with the show, I just go home, turn the TV on, stand there, eyes wide open, drool falling out of my mouth.
There's your Reds and Braves are fixing to have their first pitch right now on ESPN. This is weird. I've never really – has there ever been an 11 a.m. first pitch for baseball? That's like normally?
I
just don't recall early games like this.
That's why we can't carry
the Red Sox,
too early.
That too.
The Red Sox once per year play a morning game. It's on Patriots Day when they run the Boston
That's
Marathon.
Right. Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
They didn't do that this year, but they've done it plenty of other times. And I've called morning games. Minor league teams do that all the time in order to get 10,000 school kids in there and then stuff hot dogs and cotton candy and Sprite inside them. And everybody's gone by the time the 7th inning rolls around and they never see the end of the game. But, for playoffs, this is new, brand new. Morning playoff game. Plus, and I don't remember the name of the kid because I hadn't heard of him before. And this gives you an idea of something that's very weird about baseball this year. The Minnesota Twins have a kid making his major league debut today in the playoffs. That also has never happened before.
Wait, is this Little Big League? I saw this movie. Yeah, he inherited the team from his grandfather.
No, I don't think that's what this guy is. I think this is actually like a real baseball player who's being paid and
sometimes
didn't have a broken arm.
That's
and I think I'm mixing up my childhood baseball movies there.
That's
one thing.
That was Rookie of the Year.
Very weird with that. But hey, we got a lot of football conversation to get to here. So, anything you want to talk about with a Georgia game does not matter about this Saturday. You're facing a completely different style team. You're facing a coach that has his team throw the ball 60 times and maybe rush like 6 times. And the way that they do this is by generating tons of yards after the catch. So, the focus of the conversation in the next segment is being very yacky, very yard after catchy, because that's what it's all about. This game, it's not I don't know if you can seriously stop the air raid. You can slow it down. you can make it a lot tougher for them to get down the field.
Absolutely.
The play of your linebackers, which is always going to be important, even more so now. Grant Morgan, Bumper Poole, they're going to need to get into the middle of those shallow crossing routes, break things up, and just break up that rhythm that the air raid does generate. And tackling, something as simple as tackling, which seemed to be a lot better for Arkansas in the Georgia game, that was seriously missing for LSU. So we'll get into that after the break. 877-377-6963 to get on the show today, and we'll come back right after this.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
The biggest selection, the best prices, and more for your trade at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. Up to $12,000 off on 2020 Ford F-150s, and there's 40 to choose from. 2020 Ford Fusion, $1,000 rebate plus 0% for 72 months, and 2020 Ford Escape, $4,500 off or 0 for 60 months. The biggest selection, the best prices, and more for your trade. Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Fall is here, and fall fishing is a great way to get outdoors and enjoy the fall season. Gelco Outdoors has all the gear to make your day on the water a success. Rods, reels, bait, clothing, footwear, and much more for the angler. Just arrived. A new shipment of Old Town canoes and fishing kayaks. You can paddle or pedal, or now the new fishing kayaks with trolling motors. Check out the new Old Town kayaks at Gelco Outdoors. And remember, a great day fishing begins at Gelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hello, sports fans. I know you are ready for sports to return. Hi, this is Sherry Traylor with Floyd Traylor Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Burks comes in motion out of the pistol formation. Franks eludes the pressure, rolling left, got a man. Burks at the 20, trailing to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas! Traylon Burks, 49 yards, his first touchdown as a Razorback.
Want more halftime? Make sure to listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering. Give them a call at 479-308-9123. The Halftime Pod is available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Welcome back into the Halftime Studios. Phil Elson, Matty T, Smackdown. We'll have Clay Henry in about 15 minutes. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio at 12:30. We can take your calls and text it now at 877-377-6963. Is Arkansas's defense up to the task of at least slowing down Mississippi State's air raid? Now, you read about some of the things that happened Saturday in Baton Rouge, and you wonder if Barry Odom will fall into the trap that Bo Pelini fell into, playing man-to-man coverage for the entire game, which apparently is not the way to play defense against air raid ever. And he stayed in man-to-man the entire game. This air raid system, and I'm a layman on this. You go to PFF, Pro Football Focus, they'll spell it out for you, and this does make a lot of sense. Yards after the catch, huge in any offense, maybe even more so in the air raid. Mississippi State averaged 10 yards after the catch against LSU. This 6'5" Osiris Mitchell, wide receiver that gained 183 yards, 96 of those yards were after the catch. But even more importantly is how you're going to cover Kylan Hill. Hill, he led all, at least running backs, in yards in receiving last week in the SEC with 158. He generated 155 of those yards after the catch. This is how Mississippi State will beat Arkansas. This is how they'll beat just about anybody. It's not with the long bombs. It's not seam routes down the middle. It's short, shallow routes over the middle, making people miss, having them in the wrong coverage, and then beating them to the edge and taking it all the way. That's exactly what happened Saturday against LSU. And it'll be very interesting to see. And I have trouble sometimes being able to delineate, what looks like man coverage, what looks like zone coverage. Again, I'm a football layman when it comes to this stuff. But I can't imagine that given a week to see what happened to LSU's defense, that Barry Odom isn't going to mix up the coverages throughout the entire game and give Mississippi State a completely different look they saw from LSU.
You're going to have to do that. I mean, you do need to play man from time to time, but you can't just rely on that like Bo Pelini did for most of that game, if not the whole entire game, playing man-to-man the whole time. You're going to have to mix in some zones. You're going to have to mix in some stunts just to try to keep KJ Costello and that offense on their toes for most of that game. They mentioned this a couple times, too, during the Arkansas-Georgia game. Maybe not necessarily pressing your receivers because then you just run the risk of getting beat with talented receivers. And I don't mean necessarily play soft either, Dane, but try to keep everything in front of you if you're the Razorback defense and not have the big play happen. There's going to be the chunk plays that's obviously going to happen with 10, 15, 20-yard throws where that's just the nature of this offense, but trying to keep everything in front of you to eliminate that 20-yard throw turning into a 40-yard run after completion and anything that happens with that. So he's definitely got his hands full, but this may be the biased Razorback fan in me. Barry Odom will get this thing figured out. You saw that for the first half of the Georgia game. Now, granted, the offense is 100 times different. The quarterback play is going to be 100 times different because KJ Costello is a well-known quarterback from coming to Stanford now here to Mississippi State. So definitely up the ante as far as offensive talent, I would argue. But I think Barry Odom's up to the challenge to try to figure out a way to slow down, to try to limit that big play and maybe try to slow down this offense to 400 yards passing or 500 yards passing instead of 623.
Well, and then is the Arkansas offense up to at least keeping pace? That's a huge aspect of this. I mean, remember, this is one of our themes leading into the season, that for Arkansas to win games, they're just going to have to get out there, and I hate using this term because outscoring a team is how you win, but just flat out win the shootouts, because I think there are going to be some shootouts. I do think this offense has enough firepower And you're not facing a defense like Georgia or anything like Georgia. I will say that, look, I mean, last week LSU could not run against Mississippi State. Who's to say Arkansas is going to be able to do the same? But I think they'll be able to move the ball through the air against them.
Move the ball against them, and maybe there might be I'm blanking on who's LSU's running back. I just blanked on his name for a second, but Rakeem Boyd.
We don't even know the guy's name
exactly.
It was
so
Edwards-Helaire last year.
How can we compare that running back to Rakeem Boyd, who I think if you asked every coach in the SEC media member, Rakeem Boyd's going to be in the top 5 among SEC running backs, I would argue. So,
well,
I mean, he's as talented as he gets.
Without any running room whatsoever. So
exactly.
That's your aspect of this. But your linebackers are going to have to come up huge. And Grant Morgan and Bumper Poole both were pretty good, plugging the gaps against Georgia and making the tackles when they had an opportunity to. But I think this is a much different situation this week. They're going to have to be in coverage a lot more often. I just wonder about, trying to attack the air raid with blitzes. I think that plays into their hands a little bit. Maybe the idea of, if you can, I don't know if it's possible with the front four right now, but generate a pass rush or some sort of a pass rush just on the line, because you're going to need extra coverage in the middle. That's going to be your linebackers. Now, at least in the secondary, Arkansas's healthier, or at least has more players available than last week. You have a couple, 3 cornerbacks that are available this week that weren't even dressed last week. So at least being able to get them on and off the field in more of a rotation is big. But I think that also you're going to need to do the same with your linebackers here. So, I think Morgan and Poole will have to come up big, but I think also that, Levi Draper and Andrew Parker will have to do the same.
Yeah.
Who was one guy that impressed me last week? I need to pull out my box score here. I mentioned him at the end of the show. He had a great defensive game. Zach Williams. He wasn't even on the depth chart. And then he's there at line. I think he's playing the jack position. He got in there a lot when Dorian Gerald went out with that ankle injury. And he was able to generate some pass rush. He made all the tackles that he got to. I think Zach Williams will have to come up big too. It's that jack position that drops back off the line to cover in the middle, and your linebackers, I think, will have to come up really big. And I think that's one thing I want to focus on with Clay. I think he's got a real understanding of what the air raid offense is like and what's going to be tantamount to. Again, stopping them is going to be very tough. Like, just you remember the old thing on SportsCenter, you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel about Saturday. Like, yeah. I don't think you're going to keep Mississippi State to any fewer than 30 points. And even that would be a really good performance for Arkansas defensively, especially considering they gave up like 106 the last 2 years to a Mississippi State offense that couldn't throw the ball very much at all and just basically ran roughshod over Arkansas. You hold them to 30, you hold them to 35, you've probably done well. In order for Arkansas to win, I think they're going to have to put up in the 40s. This is going to have to be a game that finishes in the 40s or the 50s. I wonder if there's enough firepower for Arkansas to do that.
Got a couple texts in here we'll get to in a second if you want to share your thoughts on what needs to happen for Arkansas to win at Mississippi State, or what needs to happen to slow down this Mississippi State offense. Shoot us a text at 877-377-6963 or give us a call at that number. You can get in on the chat on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, you name it, and get your chats in here. So Cody Trevathan on our Facebook page, Phil says these guys maybe bend but don't break. Hold them to field goals, shorten the field, limit big plays. And as far as slowing down the pass offense, he says 2 safeties over the top the entire game.
Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. You're going to have to cover really well, and hopefully you get KJ Costello to make some mistakes, force a ball into a tight window and just be a little bit off. So, yeah, I think you're going to have to force some mistakes by him. I'm not quite sure how you do that. Clay does let me know that Mateo Soli is also back this week. I think that'll be big at the jack position. So, I mean, you're also you got more of a full complement of defensive players than you had last week. So, I don't know if you'll be able to generate much of a pass rush, to be honest. But LSU did get to Costello 5 times.
Yep.
So maybe you can get into the backfield. But they also had all this yards after catch stuff. They still had. I know, like, how many completions did Costello make? Like 34, 35?
36, I think is what he was.
There were about a handful that went for negative yardage. So you can get into that backfield and create losses against Mississippi State. And hopefully be able to do that enough to slow them down, contain them, whatever it is you want to call them outside of stopping them.
Yeah.
But make sure that before they do that, you go to hitthatline.com. Win you and your coworkers some free thick burgers at Hardee's. Tell them how to do it.
We're going to have that winner tomorrow. And like Phil said, head to hitthatline.com. Click on the Lunch Bunch button in the top menu bar on hitthatline.com. We'll have a winner tomorrow for you guys. That's courtesy of Hardee's in Northwest Arkansas in the River Valley and at hitthatline.com. So be the best friend in your office. Win that office group some Hardee's lunch.
Our best friend in the upcoming segment is Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated. He'll be talking Arkansas, Mississippi State. Right after this, stay tuned on Halftime.
Capital One checking and savings accounts have no...
The month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr. Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Divorce is never easy. Many times problems continue to arise long after the divorce is over. If you're dealing with a high conflict custody or visitation issue, you need an attorney that handles those specific type of cases. Call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners for immediate assistance with your situation. Kevin Hickey Law Partners, able to handle high conflict custody cases all over the state of Arkansas and other states. Check out kevinhickeylaw.com or call 479-434-2414 in Fort Smith and 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas.
In the mood for a top shelf night, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of their delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Garrison in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
Shady Point Body Shop reminds you the average shelf life of blood is only 42 days. There must be steady donations to meet the continuing needs of the community. Give the gift of life and give blood. This message is brought to you from Shady Point Body Shop, 26875 Reagan Street at US Highway 59 in Shady Point. Proudly serving the community for more than 17 years with over 29 years of experience. Stop by or call them at 963-2924.
This is ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Mathers calls for the ball, wants to throw, fires, intercepted at the 5-yard line. Arkansas with the interception, hitting the turf right away after the pick. That's Kyrie Johnson. Johnson with the pick. No, it's Buster Brown, I'm sorry. Monteri Brown with the interception.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
That was one of 2 turnovers generated by Arkansas's defense. You had the forced fumble by Jalen Catalon, and Miles Slusher recover. Buster Brown gets the first interception of the season. JB in Bentonville just texted in on that theme, thinks turnovers are going to be a pretty big key this week. They are usually. I think this week maybe more so than others. So let's talk with Clay Henry about that, the publisher from Hogs Illustrated. Of course, you can read him at Whole Hog Sports. Hope you got the subscription to Hogs Illustrated. Clay, what's up in your life today, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. This is the Daily Double. I did Tommy and Ty this morning, and I've got you and Big Matt this afternoon. I guess this is still morning. I'm sorry.
Hopefully, yeah, that's right. We're still learning how to do a bit of a morning/afternoon radio show instead of 2 hours of lunch.
Yeah.
So this air raid, you're facing a much different style offense than you'll face at any other point this year, and from what I gather, this offense isn't about throwing it deep down the field. It's about crossing routes. It's about confusing the defense. It's about yards after catch. So, and I don't know if you can stop this offense, but how do you think you slow it down in some of the players that have to come up big?
Well, the way to do it is to get a zero play. And to get a zero play, the easiest way is to get an incomplete pass. I mean, there's, what did Darrell say? There's 3 things that can happen when you pass, and 2 of them are bad. You got to get one of those bads more often than not. In other words, you get an interception a couple of times in the game, find out if the other team's quarterback can tackle a defensive player running for the goal line. That's the biggest play against the air raid, is the pick six. And they give up some pick six in this system because they're going to throw it down the field. And you say, well, they don't throw it down the field a lot. That's what they practice. They run. In fact, I've already written this for my weekend piece, that the keys to victory. Their practice on Thursday consists of 4 guys running go routes for the entire practice. And they are so good at that, they make you stop that first. And, you hear about, they run the ball and you take that away, well, then they throw it. Well, no, these guys, they're going to run the go route until you take that away, and then everything else, they can dump it down and get the safe stuff. But they're so good throwing and catching the deep ball that you better be practicing against that. And then 10 times against LSU, they behind the line of scrimmage. Well, that's Kyline Hill. Mm-hmm. And the key matchup in this game is Grant Morgan and Bumper Poole trying to tackle that beast. And he is a beast. And it's a mismatch. And it is exactly what he wants to get to. I'm talking about Leach. You stop all this other stuff, then we're going to give it to our best player. And he's going to be one-on-one. You can't overload the run. You can't bring guys down in the box because we will throw it over the top. You can't bring extra guys in blitz because we will have the middle of the field in crossing routes. If you bring extra guys in the box, then you got man-to-man on all the wide receivers, and they'll run a crossing route in the middle, and that's what they did against LSU. And it looks, like it is such the thing that you want to do. You overload the line and blitz, and they run a crossing route, and they hit it, and it's the easiest pass. The pass over the middle is the shortest pass there is for the most yards. So that's kind of summarizing all of it. Maybe I gave you a little bit longer answer for your question.
No, I mean what you're telling me is that they've got an answer for anything that
they do.
A defensive coordinator throws at you.
Yeah, so what you have to do is that you have to have guys that can win one-on-one matchups in the defensive line to get to the quarterback. It solves everything. And that sounds simplistic, but that's what Arkansas has to do. And they have to keep guys fresh so they're not tired in the fourth quarter when you have no pass rush. But I think one of the keys is Julius Coates, who's going back to Mississippi where he was a junior college star, and Mateo Soli, who didn't play last week because of COVID, has the speed on the edge, is an improved player, and is Dorian Gerald able to go with a bad ankle? He's got one wheel down from, he went down in the second quarter with an ankle sprain. And how those things are, sometimes they're really easy. You're done, you're back, or you're done for 2 or 3 weeks. And you don't know how they're going to heal. And anybody who's ever had an ankle injury, you just don't know. Sometimes it's like magic. 3 days later, it's like there's no swelling. I don't feel anything. And then sometimes it's a high ankle sprain, and it might take a month. So we'll know. And they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell Mississippi State. Injuries in the day of COVID, there is no transparency with numbers or injuries. Everybody is scared to death to tell the other team, I'm out. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And just like we kind of suspected last week it was defensive backfield issues with COVID, and it was, but they should be over that this week. Except they're going to test all week, Phil. They're going to test all week. So it might be, we may not see Costello this week. He might have COVID. I mean, he might have been hugged by so many people Saturday night when he got back to Starkville that there is no way he avoided coming down with COVID. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's been the nature of victories early this season, is that the celebrations and everybody wants to touch the quarterback after he does something like that, right?
Yeah, that's right. And and on a whole other theme here, it seems that Mississippi State adores the attention of feeling like being the belle of the ball. I'll get into that a little bit later, but I think bandwagon videos after one game is a step too far, but it also is Mike Leach. I want to ask about offense here because we just focused on defense. Is Arkansas's offense up to the task of needing to score 40 to 50 points to win a game? Because I still think that's what it's going to take on Saturday.
Yeah, that seems a stretch, doesn't it? I mean, it just seems like that would be a long way to make the jump from last week when you couldn't run the ball and you couldn't sustain anything. And you couldn't stay on the field, much less score that many points. But it may come down to a game where if you can grind it on somebody. They did have a 91-yard drive against Georgia, which was, I think, was far from what I thought could happen. I thought they'd have to get cheap points. The defense has got to score, special teams has got to be a lot better, and the offense has got to keep the ball a little bit for them to win a shootout. That would be – now, I want to take you back to 2016. This is how far things have fallen. So Arkansas went to Starkville in 2016 and won a shootout, 52-48. That got them to 7-4, and they're going to Missouri the next week. And you thought, hey, they're going to win 8. They're going to go to a bowl game, and they could win 9. If you go back, they should have won both of those games. I mean, they blew big leads
the first
at
of the
Missouri,
blowing big
and
halftime.
And it hasn't been the same since. Well, the reason why you lost those 2 games is you couldn't convert short yardage. You did not have an offensive line. They have yet to get over that particular issue. They have not been able to run the ball consistently, and that will be what determines this game. If Arkansas can run it some, everything will clear up. You'll be able to have play-action passing. The linebackers will be held. You'll be able to get the ball over the middle to wide receivers because linebackers are going to be in tight. They're not going to drop back like Georgia's did on 3rd down. So run the ball with Cream Boyd. Get this offensive line settled down. Set the edge. I'll be watching the same thing I watched last week. I'll be watching Stromberg, Latham, and Limmer. How do those guys do? They got some stalemates, but they got no movement. Can they get some movement against Mississippi State's front? And they haven't the last 2 years. Mississippi State's defensive line, which was awesome, stuffed them. I don't think they're quite that good with losing Simmons and Sweat and a few others.
Speaking to Clay Henry here on Halftime Club, we've talked a lot about the Mississippi State defensive front and that the penetration that they were able to get with against LSU on that LSU offense. Can Arkansas find some success, do you think, running the football? I mean, we've talked – obviously, you're right. Running the football is going to open everything up for that Razorback offense. Do you think they can do it against this Mississippi State defense?
Yeah, you have to go back and you think, well, what did LSU have? They were completely a shell of that offensive line. They lost all 5 guys, and they were great players, almost all seniors, or they went to the NFL early. And they've had COVID issues at LSU. And, sure death in preseason is to have your offensive linemen out because of COVID, not being able to get practice time. Those guys have to have a mesh and have to play assignment error free. You have to can't have a bust up there, and it's what LSU did over and over. But I think the question is, can they? I don't know, but it's not going to settle down for Franks until they run the ball, and it's not going to settle down until they have other things besides the drop back pass. And I don't know. The offensive line, I think it'll get better week by week. Is this the week it all comes together? I don't know. That's a great question.
I think for me, when you look at the game, and obviously we've talked about slowing down the Mississippi State offense and kind of trying to find the keys for this week's game to try to get a Razorback victory. For me, you're going to have to sustain drives offensively. And to me, I think the 2 big ones for me, if you win time of possession and you keep that Mississippi State offense on the sidelines, maybe not necessarily go full tilt boogie with the speed of the offense, but just trying to keep possessions rolling, like you said, running the football and making good, solid passes. I think if you can win time of possession this weekend, you're in good shape if you're Arkansas.
Yeah, 3 and outs, they kill your defense for 2 reasons. 1, you didn't get any points. 2, the defense didn't get any rest. And that's what happened in the first quarter. Even though Arkansas was ahead, they had 6 possessions in the first quarter, and that was defense being out there for that long. You just can't have that. And this team they'll score points. I mean, Mississippi State will. They're going to score points. You got to match them somehow. And I don't think this is a good matchup for Arkansas. I did not know how Mississippi State would come out of the chute, but we do now. They came out with all guns blazing, or as Mike Leach would say, all sword swinging.
Yeah, and then he would say something else that you might not even be able to print. Clay, appreciate your time, man. We got to go. Safe travels to Stark Vegas, and we'll talk about it next week.
Thank you. You guys hang tough.
Thanks, Clay.
Absolutely. We'll try our best. It's Clay Henry from Hogs Illustrated. Hey, Washita Farms has been sponsoring us for a couple of months now. Great state-licensed cannabis farm, processor, seed labeler. They're right there in Hot Springs Village, and they distribute their products over nearly 200 stores across the state. These are CBD products by Washita Farms, made right here in Arkansas. Natural, no additives, 100% USA-grown hemp. This is a company owned by the Owens brothers, and it's Washita Farms. David Owens has his personal experiences using plant-based products right there on the website. Now, if you're in Central Arkansas, go to Hot Springs Village. There are tasting rooms at Highway 7, 3958 is the address, where you can also go to WashitaFarms.com and use the code WPS15 when you check out. That's Washita Farms. Back after the break, wrapping up the first hour.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7, randallford.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474, or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Ben Guerin Community Complex, the former First Tee of Fort Smith, is now open. This will be a learning facility again with PGA professional Matt Brown teaching at the Youth Golf Academy. Our junior golfers can learn the fundamentals of golf on the updated 9-hole course and practice facility. People of all ages can enjoy golf at the Ben Guerin Community Complex. Play a quick round of golf, play foot golf, or work on your game on the chipping and putting greens, or hit a bucket of balls on the driving range. Now open, the Ben Guerin Community Complex at Ben Guerin Park.
Miss Anna's on Towson is quickly becoming one of Fort Smith's favorite haunts. We're now serving breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Blue Plate specials served Monday through Friday. And don't forget about 99-cent Pie Tuesday. So whether you're craving some of our great kickin' chicken or one of our world-famous desserts, Miss Anna's is the place to be. 5001 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, 649-6300. That's 649-6300.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
I've never seen Rocky.
You're joking, right? Everyone's seen Rocky.
I haven't seen Rocky, any of them.
Really? How have you not seen Rocky? It's on TV all the time.
I've not seen any of them.
I'm sorry, you have to watch it tonight.
Wow.
Dude, when Rocky came out, I started drinking eggs and running. That movie changed the world. This movie will change your life.
Rocky Balboa? Never heard of it.
People don't even understand.
How are you a sports talk show host and you haven't seen Rocky?
Gonna pound that sass right out of him. Running around, running with Converse All-Stars.
The Italian Stout.
Yo, Paulie, see ya! I'm not a movie guy. Like, people make fun of me. A greasy, fast Italian monster. The list of movies that I haven't seen, You're gonna eat lightning, is pretty extensive. You're gonna crap thunder. I've seen all the Rockies. Rocky 4 is incredible.
If I can change.
So the only part of that answer that mattered is that you've seen the Rocky movies.
You can change.
A real American would have seen Rocky by now.
You're a sports host, and Ty continues to be the only sports host in the country who has it.
I will take time out of my busy schedule.
All you gotta do is at least watch the first
to go watch Rocky.
Just at least watch the one that won a Best Picture award, for crying out loud.
Everybody should change.
All appreciate the words I'm about to say. Nobody likes to be told what to do.
That's fair.
Nobody. Sometimes you just have to accept that what you are being told to do is good for you.
That is true.
It's a little difficult to do that sometimes. I learned a word about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, And I brought this up on the baseball broadcast with Bubba, who likes to – Bubba will call him – he said, I'm psycho, I'm stubborn, all these things. Not me, him. He says these things about himself. And I said, Bubba, I learned a word that means more than stubborn, like stubbornness on top of stubbornness just for stubbornness' sake. It's called obstinance. That's what we're talking about now with our friend Ty Richardson, who refuses – to watch the Rocky movie, to watch Rock. I just want him to watch the first one. I'm not saying watch 1 through 5 and then watch Rocky Balboa and the Creed movies and just watch the first one for crying out loud. You heard the end of that. I'm just trying to do a public service here.
It's a recommendation, not a. It's not telling you what to do. You're recommending one of. We said the greatest sports movie.
Yeah.
He said it. I turned the Morning Rush just at the end of the show. I guess there's only so much of it I can take, right? Yeah, kidding.
That's fair.
I turned it on at the end of the show, and at least Ty is being honest now that the reason he won't watch it is because people are telling him to watch it. It's not a matter of he just doesn't have time, he's got too much other things to do. It's obstinance, pure, unadulterated obstinance.
We got the audio here if you want to play for a second of him explaining his reasoning. So here's Ty this morning.
I was advised not to actually get into my real beef from last night, so we'll venture on to something else. I would say that for whatever reason, and listen, and I say this jokingly, of course, because I love my bold buddy Phil Elson, but Phil has made it his personal mission to get me to watch Rocky, and several listeners have chimed in, like Jimbo and Hackett, and say that I need to watch Rocky. If you actually think to be a sports radio host in this market or any market whatsoever, that watching Rocky is a requirement.
It is.
But you do realize you're the only one in America that has.
And listen, that's fine. I honestly might not even watch it just to be that. I honestly could not care less. Now, I am eventually going to watch it. I was planning on this weekend, but I just don't understand it.
I just don't understand how you haven't seen Rocky to this point. It's not like you can't find it. It's not like it's not out there. It's not like it's
99 cents on Amazon Prime is what I looked at.
Or free on many other channels. I mean, Rocky's an American classic.
Just didn't watch it. So there's probably a classic that you haven't seen either. I mean, it's just how it is.
Nothing that rises to the level of Rocky. That's Americana.
I've got a lot of responses on this, and it just I was planning on watching, and all of a sudden people were freaking out. It's like, oh my gosh, he hasn't watched or whatever. That just doesn't
ought to tell you need to watch. I finally realize when people say, "Yo, Adrian," you'll know what it means now. You know?
Yeah. Is that a Philly? Was he a Philly guy?
Oh God, that's the whole reason why you don't even know what city he's from. Goodness gracious. It's not a matter that you have to watch the movie to be a sports talk show host. It's just a matter of being a well-rounded American person.
Finish him.
That's exactly right. Give me more Mortal Kombat. Finish him. Yank out his heart and show it to him.
At the very end of that clip, though, and I'll pause it, so I'm not going to play it back there. At the very end of that, he admits he doesn't like to be told what to do.
That's what it's all about.
So,
I don't either, but sometimes I realize that someone's telling me this for my own good. What I'm doing is a public service to our listeners, to our station, to our advertisers, and to Ty himself, who's great at what he does. And him watching Rocky isn't going to make him a better or worse talk show host. It's just going to make him a more well-rounded American. Don't you want to be? And look, I'll say this, too. Like, if there was a choice of two things that you've never done in your life, all right? And one of them is you've never voted in an election, and the other is that you've never seen Rocky, I'll hang with the people that don't vote instead, all right? And I think you should always go vote. I never miss an election. You shouldn't either. But if you don't vote, I'll hang out with you more, without seeing Rocky. We'll put it that way.
Do you feel like when you were 25, you were more like that, less likely to want to be told what to do, even if it was just a great
I don't
suggestion?
think there's much of a difference in that part of me from 25 to the age of 43. But I was a heck of a lot. Well, no, I'm just as stupid now as I was at 25. I just don't act upon all the stupid thoughts that I used to act upon.
I'm trying to.
Impulsive, maybe.
I was trying to rack my brain the first time I watched Rocky. I had to have been in high school.
It's hard to think of the first time because you've seen it so many times. Like Tommy was saying, it's on all the time. You have to make it a point to not see it.
And I'm venturing to guess, though, if we're continuing this tradition, which we're going to, it's just it's going to further piss him off, and he's not going to watch the movie.
Well, and I want to also make a point here, too. Like, the last segment of the first hour is not always going to be the Did Ty Watch Rocky Today segment, but we are going to play that one bumper every day once until he sees it. Okay, that's what it's all about.
It's not that he hasn't just seen Rocky 2. I'm surprised. He is proud. He loves rom-coms. And he will make lists the top 10 best rom-coms. He hasn't seen Sleepless in Seattle. He hasn't seen The Wedding Singer.
He ought to make a top 10 list of the movies he's never seen.
Exactly, but the list would go on and on and on. It'd be hundreds and hundreds.
Well, he did that. I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday on. Well, no, today's Wednesday. That would have been. It was the day we talked about Brian's song. Was that last week?
Last week.
Was last week. It was one day last week. Talked about sports movies that you haven't seen that you need to. That's where this whole Rocky thing came up. But some of the ones that he hasn't seen, I think he hasn't seen The Natural. Like there was a good 10 number list of good sports movies that he hasn't seen. Now I haven't seen probably 3 or 4 of them that was listed on there, but the good ones that you're supposed to see, I've seen.
I've just tried to open his world up to a larger perspective. That's what the show was about while he and I were working together. I succeeded in some areas, and I obviously
you failed.
Just mortally failed.
Phil,
in a very important area.
It hurt me when he didn't like Spinal Tap for some reason.
I know,
for some reason that hurt me. Yeah,
that hurt me too. That hurt me too. That made me question whether or not he's got a real sense of humor.
Well,
I've actually seen him laugh before. He actually does.
Yeah.
Understand what's funny and what's not sometimes. No.
I said, have you ever seen I compared Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to Tommy Boy, and when he said Tommy Boy, he goes, what's that? He did watch it, though, in all fairness. So.
I did the same thing when he said he didn't know one Johnny Cash song.
Who?
All right, I'm getting my box score ready. You ready to crumple this sucker up?
Let's do it.
That after the break. Stay tuned. Second hour.
Attention, Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Whitson Morgan Motor Company, your 2020 Dealer Rater Dealer of the Year, has 4 great locations in the River Valley, giving you a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Choose from Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Chevrolet vehicles right now at Whitson Morgan Motor Company. See their reviews and compare with others. That many people can't be wrong. Visit Whitson Morgan in Clarksville, Ozark, and Russellville, or log on at whitsonmorgan.com for selections and great deals to serve you today.
Breeden RV's 2020 blowout sale was a huge success, and now they need more trailers. Due to the massive shortage in good, clean, pre-owned RVs, they will pay top dollar for your RV. So if you don't get to use your RV as much as you like, don't worry. Breeden RV's here to buy it, or they can even consign it for you. They also have the newest models from Thor, Forest River, Coachman, and many more arriving daily. They can take care of you on your service needs, and for the month of September, get 10% off all parts and accessories. The best camping weather is just around the corner, so stop by Breeden RV on Alma Highway in Van Buren and start living your best life today. See dealer for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Mainly clear sky, and overnight low will drop down in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Sunny and warmer as we head through Wednesday. Our high in the upper 70s to near 80. And Thursday expected to be cooler. Lots of sunshine. Highs in the low to mid 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on to OGE.com.
Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play!
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour, halftime, Wednesday football season. You got your white pages ready to tear up, SmackDown? I've got my – this is essentially what the white pages looks like nowadays, 6 pages.
Yeah, I got mine.
You've got the old style.
I got the old style
right.
stapled, the quickie stats from Kyle Parkinson and everybody from over there.
So that you can hear this. This is the box score, all right? This is my box score, and this is what I think about what we're not talking about the Georgia game anymore. Here it is.
Ooh, that sounded good. Let's see if I can.
Done with it. Moving on. Wow, that's a tear. I'm crumpling, you're tearing. That's
There you
scary.
go.
That's scary. You could probably
I'm scared
do that
for
to
the
a human
paper.
being. Jeez.
Yeah, that's your neck.
What'd that paper ever do to you, SmackDown?
It lost. That's what it did.
So you finally experienced the crumpling / tearing of the box score. Was this as good as you thought it was going to be?
No, because I
You
didn't
need-
get. I didn't get to do my meat hooks.
I thought you were about to try to throw
post-tear
that.
cigarette.
Oh, great. You should have seen this throw because it's all a bunch of pieces. So he tried to throw it like a basketball, but then it went in 7 different
I
directions.
want to get out the. We want to get the vacuum.
We'll get the vacuum cleaner out. We'll get Ty to clean that up for us real
Looks
quick.
like confetti.
Let's see some of these notes you put on here. So we've done our box score. Hey, we haven't talked any Arkansas soccer in a while. It's worth mentioning right now. You got maybe the best soccer player in the
Football.
country. The footy. Anna Podojil, sophomore forward, All-American last year. She has been named the National Soccer Player of the Week.
Oh, wow.
Footballer of the week if we want to go European with it.
Good for her.
So Arkansas playing an all-SEC schedule now. Beat Kentucky Sunday in Lexington, and Podojil handed all 4 goals in the 4-1 win. 2 goals, 2 assists. And Arkansas, regular season champions last year in the SEC, expected to win it again this year, 2-0, outscoring LSU and Kentucky by a combined 6-1. And Sunday will be an historic day at the Razorback Field SmackDown because you'll have for the first time ever 2 top 10 teams. That's fun alliteration. Battling against each other. You get number 9 Arkansas, number 5 Texas A&M. So
wow, that'll be a big time matchup.
That's great. Good luck to Coach Hale and his team. And you know, we talk so much football right now that we've neglected to at least get into soccer a little bit. And this is a good program. I mean, defending SEC regular season champions and already 2-0, and going into a top 10 matchup. So that'll be a lot of fun. What else? NBA Finals are starting today, SmackDown. Just as the Stanley Cup was raised a couple of days ago, you get your first ever October NBA Finals. Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. It's so funny when the most famous guy attached to the team is the team president.
Well,
Meanwhile,
I mean,
the best player is Jimmy Butler.
When you look at Pat Riley, I mean, and I saw this stat, I think it was NBA TNT shared this. Pat Riley has been to an NBA Finals in the past 6 decades. So at least at one point in every decade in the past 6, he's been either as a player when he played for I believe it was the I'm blanking on who he played for, but did it for a couple times as a player, then as a coach, obviously, then as an owner. He did it again as a coach for the Miami Heat, and now again as an owner for the Miami Heat. So or the team president, whatever role he is. Yeah.
So I gather, and I haven't watched much NBA playoffs at all, but what I gather, it's like the Lakers let the opponent think that they can win by giving up a game, and then they just basically blow the doors off them for 4 in a row.
Pretty much how it's came down to. Lakers are the heavy favorites in this one. They're listed as plus 320, or in minus 400 favorites. Heat at plus 320. The Heat are
minus 400
favorites.
Money line in the finals.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you look at them. I mean, the Lakers. I mean, they've got a talented roster, obviously, between LeBron James, Anthony Davis. They've got a lot of good surrounding pieces with them. Miami Heat's no pushover. They've got some young studs. They got Bam Adebayo, which most SEC fans will remember him from playing in Kentucky. If you are an NBA fan, they've got Jimmy Butler on that team that used to play for the Philly 76ers back a couple years ago. This will be a fun matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, you've got the LeBron-Miami Heat connection from back in the early 2000s. The 2010s when he played for Miami. So it'll be a darn fun matchup tonight on ESPN and ABC watching this tonight.
Well, cool. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why this October just feels so much different than what is usually, I think, the best month in all of sports, where you get your mate. And you know what I'm like with the baseball playoffs that have already started today, by the way. You got one of the 8 games in action, Reds and Braves, no score in the third inning, or they just completed the third inning. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be watching much basketball when it's baseball playoff time, but it is cool to know that that's happening at the exact same time.
Got lots of different options for you.
One other thing I wanted to hand off here. So did you see that Patrick Mahomes and his fiancée Brittany are pregnant? At least
yes.
Brittany's
pregnant.
pregnant.
You're going. I didn't mean to laugh at that point. I thought you were going a different direction with that.
No. Do you think they're going to insist on whatever the child's name is that he or she is called by the full name and never a shortened full name?
No. God forbid we call him by the full name. Yes, I want to apologize. I didn't mean to laugh at that. I thought you were going a different direction, but yeah, very well should be. So congratulations, though, to Patrick Mahomes.
She's in the news a lot. Brittany, did you see after the NFL posted what they thought were the top 10 players in the league, and they had Mahomes, I think, 3rd or 4th behind Lamar Jackson?
I remember that.
She basically she posted a photo of herself. I don't know what app it was on, just flipping off the camera. Isn't that nice and classy?
Well,
that nice and classy?
Can you hear this? Maybe I should turn it up.
Exactly. It's pretty much what it was.
In her defense, though, I mean, why? Pat Mahomes needs to be. See, I just did it again.
You did it. His father was Pat. That's why they don't want him to be called Pat. His dad was Pat Mahomes. He's Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
But he's not the only person that's ever asked for this before. And I know it wasn't him asking. It's always mom. Always mom. Never dad.
No.
Dad doesn't care. You know, dad, you could call somebody a bad name with an F-bomb in it. Dad's not going to care. Mom's the one who's going to go crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've experienced this before with a couple of travelers during my last job in minor league baseball. We had a couple of guys that it seems so easy to shorten someone's name and it's just accepted, right? Like I'm Phil. Nobody calls me Philip unless I've pissed off my parents. Then they'll, for some reason, drop in the Philip with the Harold. It's the first and the middle name.
When you get the middle name thrown in there, it is over with.
Right.
Yeah,
but I had an outfielder with the Travelers. His name was Nathan Haynes.
Okay.
His aunts, by the way, were the Pointer Sisters, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
You did not call him Nate. If you did, Mom would email. I mean, I'm not kidding here. Another kid was a left-handed pitcher named Jonathan Rowenhorst. Might have had the most letters in the full name that I've ever had.
Rowenhorst. Okay.
We started calling him Jonathan, not John Rowenhorst, because Mom let us know. It's always Mom, and you do not go against Mom's wishes.
No.
So to those who say call him what you want to call him, he makes however much money a year.
Nope.
When Mom says my son's name is so and so, then his name is so and so.
Yes, absolutely. No, the same thing. My mom will call me Matt. But the minute that she puts the Hugh on the end for Matthew, and a lot of the times there's a lot of Matthew, there's a lot of emphasis in there.
Does she ever throw your middle name too?
Yes, she does.
What is it?
Lynn. Matthew
Very
Lynn
nice.
Jenkins.
Matthew Lynn Jenkins?
Yes.
This is now the first time we were finally getting to know each other. It
That's
took
fine.
us this
Phil
long,
Apparel.
SmackDown. It took us 7 months to learn each other's middle names.
Maddie, you've told me.
Mine's Garth.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me that.
Matthew Garth Travis.
So for the longest time when kids when I was teaching, they saw the L and they would have the banners up and Matthew L. Jenkins. And you both have seen the Leroy Jenkins video for World of Warcraft. So the kids for the longest time, and I played along with it, they thought that my middle name was Leroy. So they would go, Leroy!
You're the famous Leroy
Absolutely.
Jenkins.
I am the famous Leroy. No. I made the mistake one time. You're talking about mama's, your mama getting irritated at you. Once she became a principal, and the night before she became principal, she made the remark that she's never had to paddle a kid before. or something like that. So I made the smart-ass remark of walking up to her and I said, Mom, I bet you can't paddle me. And she goes into the cupboard. She pulls out a hamburger spatula and wears me out.
At least your rump was nice and tender afterwards.
I hope that spatula was clean.
Oh, boy.
I would also say, so for you would bring it to a little more locally here.
Yes.
Like Traylon Burks is not Trey. You don't call him Trey. There's a Trey Knox. There's not a Trey Burks. So we have to respect what people's names are. You know, they're named for a reason.
Exactly.
Usually somebody will say, you can call me what you want, just don't call me late for dinner. And again, tin hat. Don't forget, too, you can call 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man if you own a business that needs more security or needs more curb appeal. They'll call you whatever you want them to call, too. And they can come over for a quick, no-obligations quote. That's 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. Been doing it for over 40 years, and they specialize in custom installations. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, a division of Quantum Property Services. This is Phil Harold Elson for Leroy Jenkins, and we're back after this.
I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
For the month of October, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax. That's right, Frankfurt Furniture is offering no sales tax for the month of October.
We also offer in-store no-credit check financing, delivery service, and service after the sale. At Frankfurt Furniture, we are family-owned, and we pride ourselves in carrying as many made-in-the-USA products as possible.
Remember, in October, no sales tax at Frankfurt Furniture, your made-in-the-USA headquarters. Frankfurt Furniture, best seats in the house.
Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
This is Sue from the paint store, and you know those big box retailers can't compete with the experience and expert-friendly advice we give you here at the paint store in Van Buren. I've tested myself, then chosen just the right blend of Richards paints to give you the best performance. Richards Paints is a company with the same philosophy as us, top-notch coverage, extreme washability. The bonus for you is the friendly expert advice you get free with every gallon. Call 474-4505 or stop by and see us at 1414 Fayetteville Road. We'll see you soon.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
In September,
at Frank Road Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in the USA Speed Queen laundry, gas coil top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, reclining sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and tables and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Road Furniture, 405 4th Street in Barling, Arkansas.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing. Who in this party's off the hook?
Keep winning with the latest download of the Halftime Podcast presented by Jeff's Clubhouse. And keep up with everything happening in Razorback Land at hitthatline.com. It'll make you feel good.
I feel fantastic!
Like goat good.
I'm gonna prove I'm the greatest. We're gonna prove to the world I'm the greatest.
Of course he's the GOAT. May not be the boat. The best of all time.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
I'm going to eat some raw meat and I'm going to train. I'm gonna get ready and chop some more trees.
Greatest coach in the history of college football. He is the GOAT, clearly.
There's no one can stop me. I'm the best ever.
Today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Empty out some of these texts before we get to Bill King in the next segment here. Evan liked our, I guess, do we call this Crumple Up the Box Score the ASMR portion of halftime?
Yes, you're listening to the ASMR version of halftime.
Is can we? I know it's an anagram. What does ASMR exactly stand for? I know what it is. It's like there are people that make a living off of these sounds that they create from eating foods that will either gross you out completely or make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up to a point where it actually makes you feel good.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Is that what box score crumpling will do for people? So does this mean
we provided so much satisfaction to people in that 10-minute span?
Great. Does that mean we can start eating pickles on the air?
That really grosses me out. You were playing that video of like a lady eating honeycomb during the break. It's so disgusting sounding.
But
do we
visually,
need
it's
Dr.
stimulating.
Pimple Popper? Do we get Dr. Pimple Popper on the show?
Oh,
That's
gross.
the same thing?
Heck no. Pineapples. Nope. You lost me on that. But yeah, we were talking about that during the break. People, like, it freaked us out. Like, you couldn't last a minute. I lasted, like, maybe 10 seconds longer than you watching it. But people, like, they genuinely, it calms them down. Or it's like something about that
They have
helps.
millions and millions
I think it goes.
of views.
I have a feeling that this falls right along the same lines of those who are grossed out by the word moist and those who say, "What's wrong with this word?" I still don't understand how that can gross anybody out.
Do you know how many? You know how many views that honeycomb video I just showed you had, Matty T?
I'm going to say 25 million.
Now my phone decides not to do its
Well,
job.
just you asking, do you know how many means that it's been a ton? And this is just something as simple as somebody.
I say 25 million, which means that they would be making thousands and thousands.
45 million.
Wow,
They've made tens of thousands.
That girl, that subscriber has 8.89 million subscribers.
I'm just gonna make a video of me eating a hot dog at a Razorback game and put it on YouTube. And we're gonna make money.
I got it better. ASMR version of you eating your bogus way of eating a Kit Kat. That would be stimulating.
Okay. Well, I thought it already was stimulating enough, just the way I ate it.
Yeah, I don't even need the sound. I just like watching it.
Whoa. What?
There was another text here from a listener that I thought was important, and it's something I'll touch on a little more when we get into Change My Mind. Somebody that likened the bandwagon video that Mississippi State released yesterday to a little bit of a club dub feel. Look, I understand. There's a huge difference between defeating the defending national champions, no matter how many of those players aren't there anymore, and beating Colorado State at home compared to on the road in Baton Rouge. And
very accurate.
But there's also the idea of, and I still remember saying when the whole club dub thing happened, it's like, okay, I mean, celebrate your win, that's fine. I didn't think they should have publicized it like they did. This bandwagon video after one game is a little bit of the same feel, you know. And I understand. I think Mike Leach and Mississippi State are a great match for each other. They're both look at me kind of kind of people, and it's the same with Mississippi State. I feel it's a good fit, but it's a bridge too far after one game to say there's tons of room on the bandwagon for us, because all that leads to eventually is a letdown, which I think is what they're going to lead to. This is not going to be a division champion this year. I think Mississippi State finishing in 4th place in the SEC West will be a good finish for them. Is that bandwagon material? I just think they're getting a little ahead of themselves. The other thing about that video that I noticed, I sent this to you earlier today, SmackDown, and I can't quite tell because of the position that Leach's knee is in. He's wearing shorts, and it looks like he might have a tattoo on his right knee, which is not usually a place you get a tattoo, on the inside of the right knee. Now, it's either that or it's a protruding piece of metal from the wagon that he's sitting in. I'd like to think it's a tattoo of Captain Jack Sparrow's face.
See, I started looking at it a little bit more.
That sounds like a painful place to get a tattoo.
It really
does.
Yeah.
Doesn't
right
it?
There on, because it's just all bone. If it's right there right by your knee, to me it looks just like part of the bandwagon itself. But who knows? I don't want to ruin your imagination as far as that not being a tattoo.
No, sometimes I need somebody to rein that imagination in, SmackDown.
Okay, well then
I think you're helping me out here.
It's probably a hook on the bandwagon. I'm just letting you. They're trying to hook. See, they're trying to hook you in.
Still no score. Reds and Braves, bottom of the 4th. Astros and Twins just got underway. So 2 of 6 baseball playoff games underway. Yesterday was all about dominant mound performances in the American League. Garrett Cole on fire. Shane Bieber, not so much. Cole strikes out 13 in 7 innings, gives up 2 runs. Bieber, who allowed 15 runs all season, leading Cleveland's pitching staff, gave up 7 yesterday in 4 2/3 innings to this stacked, now healthy Yankees lineup that has Aaron Judge back, that has Gleyber Torres back, that has Giancarlo Stanton, and this Yankees team looks like they're ready to explode. Zach Greinke and Framber Valdez, which is my new favorite name for a pitcher in baseball, combined to 4-hit the Twins, and the Twins shortstop Jorge Polanco threw away a 2-out ground ball in the 9th inning with a tie game that led to Michael Brantley of the Astros delivering the game-winning hit. Lucas Giolito shoves for the White Sox yesterday with 7 innings of 2-hit, 1-run, 8-strikeout ball, and then Blake Snell against the Blue Jays, 5 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, just 3 base runners, and no runs. James McCann started behind the dish yesterday for the White Sox, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, but they won anyway against the Athletics. Manuel Margot drove in 2 of Tampa's 3 runs in the 3-1 win against the Blue Jays, and that's what happened yesterday. So you already got your games in action right now, and I gave you the updated scores, and there's no reason to get into them anymore. I don't have any more notes on this baseball stuff here. That's about it.
Got a couple. I'll hit on these. Just some news tidbits that also came out. We already talked about the Notre Dame. Lincoln, if you're just tuning in, they've linked the Notre Dame outbreak with the COVID outbreak that they had to a pregame team meal, and it involved the hurlation of food.
Did they say what they were eating?
No, this is really interesting because Brian Kelly said that in the lead up to the season during fall camp, they all took grab-and-go boxed lunches.
There's your problem.
But before the game, they had their regular setup with the pregame meal of guys sitting next to each other. That's where it happened. So they're not going to do the grab-and-go box lunches for pregame meals, but they're going to rent out a large conference center and basically spread the entire team out over a humongous room so they can still eat together but be distanced while they're doing it. I don't know what you knew about players puking on the sidelines, which was the other reason that the virus was spread by Notre Dame. Probably just making sure that infected players don't get on the field is one way to do it, because that's what happened with this kid.
I didn't hear, the CDC, maybe they need to update their rules and guidelines to point out that it could be spread by, vomiting into the air. Well, so also,
shouldn't that
wear
be
a
obvious?
mask, wash your hands, and don't vomit into the open air.
Well, I thought that's usually rules we do live by on most days.
It's more of just like a guideline than a rule.
Isn't all the rules thrown out the window right now, though?
Anything goes.
Anything goes at this point in 2020.
Well, this isn't the first player to throw up on a sideline. Usually we hear stories about players throwing up before every single game. Now
True.
They just need to do it in their own stall and not next to anybody.
Mm-hmm. I was also going to point this out earlier in the show, and we'll make this quick before we hit our commercial and get Bill King here at 12:30. A couple months ago, we were talking about Borat.
Yes, I
It
got
is
so excited.
official.
They said
the new Borat.
The
right?
new Borat
before the election.
Before the
is going to be available on Amazon.
Amazon
Yep.
Prime. Beginning October 23rd, it will be on Amazon Prime. So if you are a Borat fan, that is coming out. And if you missed the first one, it was was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, which we all know Phil loves the Academy Awards. Here on
all award shows. Really.
All awards. He loves them all. He especially loves the ESPYs, even more so than that. But apparently the new Borat, the news outlet that was reporting this said it's the first movie to be made during the COVID-19 shutdown, and even started filming during the shutdown as it zigzagged all across this great nation that we get to live in.
Do you have the name in that article? Because it was way too long for me to remember. I'll put you on the spot.
I like Borat.
It's a really long, ridiculous name.
When does Bruno return? I need to see that bathing suit that he wore. Like
Hopefully
that.
they don't
I
come
need
back
to get
to
one
Fort
of those for
Smith.
myself.
Well, how much will we have to get paid to get you to do that? Wear that bathing suit during halftime.
We would need him to stand up for the show, though, so we could really.
We'll
see
get him a podium. Like we'll get the halftime logo and everything.
Can I eat pickles on the air while I'm wearing it?
Well, we don't want to make it too sexy.
We'll mix these things together. That's right. Hey, don't forget about Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm feeling a lot better after eating the Carolina Reaper.
Are you?
I wouldn't recommend it, but hey, that mango habanero was tasty.
Mango habanero. They even got pizza sauce, lemon pepper, orange sauce. They've got all kinds of great sauces for you. Head to Buffalo Wild Wings at Fort Smith, Little Rock, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and in Conway today. Boneless Thursday tomorrow night.
And Bill King in just a couple of moments. Stay tuned.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
The all-new Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas wants you to get out and explore this fall. Wheels has the luxury brands you can depend on to keep you camping. Brands like Grand Design, Alliance, KZ, and the all-new solar-powered Vibe. And with a lifetime warranty on every new unit and a mobile service shuttle, you can relax and know that your RV will stay like new year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
Woo! Beat up sauce alert. 4 new sauces just hit the menu. Listen closely for the lineup. Player 1, pizza sauce. The game day decision of pizza versus wings is now easier than ever. Player 2, lemon pepper. Yep, that's right. Now it's a sauce too. Player 3, orange sauce. Served with a fortune cookie on the side. And lastly, coming in hot, Carolina Reaper. This sauce just moved up to captain, taking over as Beat Up's new blazing sauce. Locations in Little Rock, Fort Smith, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and Conway. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Is your Arkansas home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a no-cost-to-you program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, their crews will install measures that can include attic insulation, LED light bulbs, weather stripping, advanced power strips, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and much more. The services provided through this program are at no cost to you for qualifying homes. If you or someone you know could benefit from home weatherization improvements, call OG&E today at 800-272-9741. That's 800-272-9741.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, "The sweetest fruits of life come from serving others." And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Ask shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Whitson Morgan Motor Company, your 2020 Dealer Rater Dealer of the Year, has 4 great locations in the River Valley, giving you a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Choose from Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Chevrolet vehicles right now at Whitson Morgan Motor Company. See their reviews and compare with others. That many people can't be wrong. Visit Whitson Morgan in Clarksville, Ozark, and Russellville, or log on at whitsonmorgan.com for selections and great deals to serve you today.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Quarterback Sorahan. Quick toss. And it's caught by Smith, who's alive at the 10, at the 5, and he's out of bounds at the 1. Seconds left. One try field goal. Can't run it. And Cobbs. They run Cobbs. He bounces outside.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
We'll bring on Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, hosting 6 to 9. He is the king of college football talk. And the king of college football leagues finally got underway on Saturday. So I'm sure, Bill, that must have made you feel good to be able to watch some SEC football finally.
Felt kind of whole, didn't it, guys? Felt real. Felt like, okay, I like the other games, but now we're on track.
Certainly was. And there were some very interesting games. Maybe the most interesting was Mississippi State's shredding of LSU's defense. And I want to ask you this. You know, we know Arkansas faces Mississippi State this Saturday. But when you look back at this last weekend with the Bulldogs and the Tigers, did it tell you more about Mississippi State, or did it say more about the state of LSU right now?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one to juxtapose because LSU's missing a ton. Not only missing a ton, but missing the best cover corner in football, in college football, and probably one of the best. Put him in the next league, he may be one of the best up there too already. But so that's tough. But here's what: watching that game, I did not see happening. I thought transitioning to the air raid would take some time to sync up and to get in rhythm. And guys, they were in rhythm on the first drive. I mean, it looked like they'd been running that system for the last 100 years. Emory Bellard, the inventor of the wishbone, once the Mississippi State head coach, it looked like they'd been running it since Emory Bellard, right? I mean, absolutely amazing. KJ Costello was good, and it showed that LSU, at least in the moment, is very pedestrian with Miles Brennan at quarterback, too.
I also think it showed how smart Kylan Hill was to return this year and show that he can be a dangerous receiver out of the backfield. And I went back and looked here, and he had 158 yards receiving. Bill, 155 of those was after the catch. 5 missed tackles on those receptions for him. That's huge. So, I mean, you're looking at, they got a bunch of good wide receivers, but you just don't know where they're going to go with the ball, and they make guys miss. That stood out to me, and I think that's a big problem for Arkansas's, not secondary necessarily, but the linebackers on Saturday.
Well, here's the other thing about the air raid. Leach is used to playing in games where he's got a quarterback and he's got a receiving core and he's got all those plays. But he's used to get whipped, particularly at the tackle position. And they've got all those little check downs. So LSU was having success beating the man in front of them to get to the quarterback. But it's so frustrating because the ball comes, if need be, the ball comes out so fast, you don't get home. And it just drives you crazy. And I would say that LSU, probably like me, did not respect Mississippi State's ability to do that. I didn't think they could, not to that level.
We'll go to the Arkansas-Georgia game briefly here, and the takeaway that a lot of people around here have from that game is that they didn't feel that Arkansas was pushed around the way that they were for the past 2 years, that at least for a good chunk of that game that they were able to maintain a physical nature. Now, they didn't move the Georgia defensive line very much, but they didn't give a lot of ground either. So people were at least pleased with the physicality of Arkansas. And then you got to keep in mind here, they were beaten by a third-string quarterback and still felt good, the fans do, about a 27-point loss.
Well, yeah, it looked like a fairer fight. I agree. Now, what I couldn't get over watching that game is how the heck DeJuan Mathis won that job. Because
yeah.
Guys, I don't know what he did, but if that's the result of what he accomplished in practice to get the one slot, God help him, because he was terrible. I mean, he wasn't a JV quarterback. And it doesn't look like it's there. Now, Stetson Bennett's a kid, a former walk-on, went JUCO down to Mississippi to get some reps, came back. Really good story there. Mainly a scout team quarterback for them. And they just got Daniels cleared here recently, too. So they'll probably be okay there. But, boy, that was the one that had my mouth agape, man. I couldn't figure that out.
Speaking to Bill King here on Halftime. Bill, let's keep it with Georgia just for a second. We've had this comparison that we're trying to draw. Who is the best team in the SEC East? Do you think it still could potentially be Georgia, or the way Florida looked against Ole Miss this weekend? Florida put on a show against Ole Miss, putting up 55. I believe it was 55-31 was the final score without having to look. Florida looked really good. Georgia's defense looked really good, but the offense was suspect. Who do you think the better team in the SEC East is right now, Florida or Georgia?
Well, yeah, the one game you'd probably go with Florida for sure. But look, got to remember last year Georgia lost to South Carolina and clearly pretty much dominated the Florida game. So the reset theory, we always have to be careful. Each week is brand new. There may be some momentum, good or bad, based on the previous week. But always keep in mind that the next Saturday can be a reset. And I think Georgia is in Florida's head a little bit too when they play that game. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Georgia win it. But, yes, based on Saturday, when you're looking at Trask and maybe the best individual receiver, tight end, Kyle Pitts in college football, I don't know who else I would take ahead of him right now. He's a nightmare. He's 6'6", 240. He runs away from you or bodies you up. There's nothing you can do about it. So they got a lot going on right now. Now, defensively, they gave up 400-plus yards. They got some issues in the pass defense, and I don't think they're as good as they're used to being up front either defensively.
Let's talk a little bit about this Arkansas-Mississippi State matchup coming up this Saturday. Arkansas's offense struggled mightily, with the exception of maybe the first 2 or 3 drives against Georgia. But for the majority of that game, struggled to even move the ball. You can credit that more towards maybe the inept offense, or I think a lot of our listeners just credit how strong that Georgia defense truly is. Do you think this coming Saturday that Arkansas can get it moving against a Mississippi State defense?
I do. Yes, I do. Not nearly the personnel that you just saw in Georgia. Now, it's going to take points because they're going to get points in that air raid. That air raid is just all in sync right now. But yes, I think Arkansas, I think you folks are going to see an offense kind of break out a little bit, hopefully. Now, I don't think it's going to be an explosion of some sort, but more success, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're on the sideline, though, with Barry Odom and that Arkansas defense, how would you go about I mean, there's no way that you're going to be able to stop this air raid offense of Mississippi State, but you can try to hope to contain it, bring it in, bend, don't break. We've had a lot of listeners say that today. How would you go about trying to slow down this Mississippi State offense? Is it going to be putting 2 safeties over the top, Arkansas winning time of possession? Like, which route would you go if you're Barry Odom?
Well, if he could hold the ball, I mean, offensively that would absolutely help. Let me give you a little tidbit on Leach. And I've known Mike. He worked on my channel there at SiriusXM for a few years while I was sitting out. So I've had a lot of conversations with him. He literally does not believe there's any coverages on defense. We disregard anything you got. He's not kidding either. I mean, he will tell you that. And you're sitting there trying to, that brain of his works differently, and it's very highly intelligent brain. I would keep things mixed up. I try to keep people under you. I would limit. They're going to get their touches. They're going to get their possessions. Limit the damage and try and live for the next down. I think that's your best bet against that team. Look, they're not even trying to run the ball, guys. I mean, seriously. I mean, What if they decide they're going to become balanced? Which he doesn't care about that either. He's not the kind of guy that says we've got to have 250 rushing, 250 passing. He'd rather have 450 passing and 28 rushing. He doesn't care. But that's what I would do.
That's a fascinating idea that you talk about with Leach, that he says there are no, defensive alignments going up against him. And I just try to think about this a little in what I experienced through baseball, in which a pitching coach will tell his pitcher, don't let the batter take away your strengths. You don't pitch to his weaknesses, you pitch to your strengths. And It sort of sounds like he's thinking the same thing for his offensive philosophy. Like a defense will try to take away something you're trying to do. He's not even paying attention to that. He's focused on his team's strength, which is just flipping the ball around.
Correct. They don't worry about it. There may be a sack. There may be a turnover. There were several turnovers. Guy from right here in the borough, former 5-star safety, had a sack and 2 turnovers. One was a swat and then a scoop, and they don't. Okay, there's a turnover. Here's the other thing. Think about this guy. I love this. 7 minutes to go. Mississippi State gets the ball back up 3, right? 34-31, fourth quarter. And we know pretty much not just the SEC rule, but the Big Ten rule. You're going to run the ball and you're going to run a clock, right? And if you have to, you punt. They don't change a bleeping thing. They chuck it every play and score and make it 10. How often do you see that? That never even thinking about the clock.
You're right about that.
Good point.
There's a high school in Little Rock that feels the same way. They're called Pulaski Academy, and I think Kevin.
No, we
Kelly
played
and
Ravenwood right here. One of my neighbors, Ravenwood, has played them the last 2 years. Lost to them just the other week, and then last year they came here and it was like 70-61. I've seen them, man.
It's infuriating to watch. Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you get SmackDown going off on Pulaski Academy, and you will. Bill, we'll leave it there. Enjoy the games this weekend. Have fun.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. We'll have him next Wednesday at 12:30. Again, to those listening in Baxter County, if you have delayed your medical care because of the COVID pandemic, don't do that anymore. Baxter Regional Medical Center is ready and has been for a while now to take care of your family safely. Safe surgeries, safe procedures, safely seeing patients across all their service lines. We're talking about safe scheduling, screeners, safe check-in. The lobbies are clean, safe hands, always being washed. Their exam rooms as safe as it can be. Safe telehealth visits if that's the direction you want to go to. To learn more about the extra precautions that Baxter Regional has taken to keep you safe, go to baxterregional.org. Don't delay your care any longer. Baxter Regional's got you covered. That's baxterregional.org for more information. And we come back with a cherry on the top, and it's Change My Mind right after this.
The biggest selection, the best prices, and more for your trade at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. Up to $12,000 off on 2020 Ford F-150s. And there's 40 to choose from. 2020 Ford Fusion, $1,000 rebate plus 0% for 72 months. And 2020 Ford Escape, $4,500 off or 0 for 60 months. The biggest selection, the best prices, and more for your trade. Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
When you want a beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere befitting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items, including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites. Dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Ben Guerin Community Complex, the former First Tee of Fort Smith, is now open. Need a facility for your next civic or business event or a place for your next party? The newly remodeled facility at the Ben Guerin Community Complex has spacious rooms for your next meeting or birthday party, and you can take it outside to the remodeled deck for a cookout and enjoyable time. Take advantage of the practice facility and work on your game or get in a quick 9 holes of golf on the updated course. All this and more at the Ben Guerin Community Complex at Ben Guerin Park.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006. Will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Bennett gives him the ball. Why hit right at the line of scrimmage? It's going to depend on the spot. Arkansas says he didn't make it. It depends on where they put the ball down. Georgia looks like they've conceded. Arkansas holds, and they're going to get the football back.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
Oh, it's been another fun show here as we take you to the top of the hour at 1. I was listening on our ESPN Arkansas affiliates in the River Valley and Harrison, and Hot Springs have Greenie coming on at 1. 99.5 got the Power Hour. Just passed by Aaron Peters in the bowels of Hog Radio here up in Springdale. Also, don't forget you got Sam Pittman live tonight. Is it 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock at the Catfish
Yeah, remember
Hole.
6 o'clock. You still got Ruskin and Zach on.
That's right. That's right. So we'll have Chuck and Coach Pitt in their plexiglass booths at the Catfish Hole, munching on that delicious catfish and hush puppies.
And that'll be all over our ESPN Arkansas airwaves, right, Maddie?
Absolutely.
So, and hitthatline.com. You can stream it there. Also,
got a lot going on.
Want to point this out too. Today is also National Podcast Day, and Ty's done some. Yeah, it is. Ty's done some reconfiguring as far as with our Hit That Line podcast. So now when you go. If you're already subscribed to our podcast, great, and we surely do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the Halftime Pod by Jeff's Clubhouse, by the way, too, free plug for him. Me and Maddie and Ty went to Jeff's Clubhouse so about 2 weeks ago, and phenomenal food down there at Jeff's. But if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, you can go just anywhere you find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, you name it, wherever you find podcasts, Ty's got it all fixed up for you, and all you got to do is just search Hit That Line. And everything's on there. You'll have our podcast. You'll have the Morning Rush Bud Light Seltzer podcast, Ruskin and Zach's podcast, the new all high school sports podcast that we've got coming from Primetime Sports, or Primetime Preps, excuse me. Primetime Preps, that's going to be coming in here pretty soon. It's all about high school.
With Brad Caldwell?
Brad Caldwell, yep. It's with him, and got a couple of his guys doing it. High school football and basketball on there as well. And then also Ty and Evan Gentry are doing a fantasy football podcast that airs
So, have we mentioned that?
I don't think we
That's
have
every Sunday from 10 to 11.
right before when the NFL kicks off with their
Exactly.
stuff. So most of the time it's right before the Chiefs are on here. So that's if you're into fantasy football and you need help. It hasn't helped Ty at all during this because Ty is still 0-3 in his fantasy league. But yeah, so lots of good content for you. I think we're working on some new things that might be coming that might involve Matty T here soon. So that's all there for you. But just wanted to give a shout out for that, and it is National Podcast Day. So get out there and listen to the Halftime Pod, presented by Jeff's Clubhouse.
Everybody get that? You write it all down? There's a lot there.
I didn't.
There'll be a
pop quiz
tomorrow.
later.
There's a pop quiz tomorrow and all that information, so I hope you memorized it. Otherwise, change my
It's
mind.
not multiple choice either.
Did she just change my mind?
And nobody's gonna change my mind about them.
Now, I don't care what you say.
Nothing can make me change my mind.
Bet I can make you change your mind.
If you know how I feel, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation.
That is just so disrespectful for you to say something like that. Say it with your chest.
Change my mind.
I had a few of them here, SmackDown, so why don't you start first?
I'll just hit with my one I touched on at the beginning of the show, and I worded it incorrectly because you two caught me off guard with the it's not the great. We're not in the greatest time of the war we're living in. But if you're a sports fan, can you think of a better October as far as watching sports? I mean, my Lord.
Erase everything else happening in the world.
And just if you need.
Except for the sports.
Exactly. I mean, when you look at what you got coming, we've talked about Major League Baseball, NBA Finals are back, you got SEC football coming back, and for me, you throw in the occasional WWE pay-per-view, which those are important, despite what Phil Elson says. Those are important. The occasional golf major that could be coming, a UFC pay-per-view, my God. If you're a sports fan, October is going to be one hell of a month for you. Change my mind.
I agree. I think you're right. I love October, man.
And November's going to be just as good because then you're getting into the meat and potatoes of the SEC schedule. Then you throw in the Masters. NFL's going to be getting closer to trying to figure out the playoffs and everything. I didn't even mention NFL in that either. So October, November is going to be great. I need some meat and potatoes in my life.
All right,
I like it when we have so many sports, we have to pick one or the other to carry on the stage.
And we're not going to have a lot of Major League Baseball at this
It's
moment.
because they're starting at like 1:45 in the afternoon or
and
during wrestling.
we're more important than Major League Baseball.
We like to think we are.
No, damn it, we are.
Well, so we want to get paid. I think that's what it comes to.
Exactly.
All right, my first change my mind is that Mississippi State's going to regret making this bandwagon video. It's one game into the Mike Leach era. I know, Mississippi State lacks a lot of fans. I know Mississippi State lacks a lot of name recognition. The Dairy University is a great place to go visit. But they're going to regret this because I think they're going to have a fine season. It'll probably be a little bit better than some expected. But this is not a division championship team. This is not a New Year's Day bowl team. They're going to regret it. And I've always been big on act like you've been there. Making a bandwagon video 1 week into a season, I don't care who you've beaten, is not acting like you've been there. Change my mind. Second one. And this has been a theme of the show for 2 years. You will never change my mind about teams that consistently lose close games. It's not that you are that close to winning. It's not that you are one or two players away. It's that you don't know how to win. So, the Cincy Bungles, not the Bengals, they're the Bungles, and there's a reason why they're the Bungles, because they bungle everything. Ben Baby quoted this. He's the ESPN Bengals reporter and might have the best name in all of sports media. Cincinnati Bungles, who this year are 0-2-1. Their two losses, one by 3 points, one by 5 points. They have a 15-game winless streak in one-score games. That ties for the longest winless streak in one-score games in NFL history, 15 of them. The last team that had a streak of 15 games within a one-score margin that they didn't win was the Chicago Cardinals. Okay,
wow.
That's 2 cities ago. The 1938 through 1941 Chicago Cardinals also lost. Well, not lost because they did ties, and we do ties now too. 15 in a row of a one-score game. So for Cincy this year, all 3 of their games, 8 of 16 last year, decided by one score. They didn't win any of them. And then 4 in 2018. The last one-score win for Cincinnati, October 28th, 2018, against Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, Arkansas's SEC losing streak goes longer. So bad teams consistently lose close games. I would say change my mind, but you can't. It's just the truth.
Fair enough.
And the Bungles are the Bungles for that reason. Like, this is typical Cincinnati. This is why they've always been called the Bungles and why I will not refer to them as anything but for the remainder of the history of this show. All right, the last one I'm going to get to here. For those who listen to the show between 3 and 6, and I'm friends with the guys. Yesterday, there was a part of my personal life that got featured on that show. I'm going to make a point here over these airwaves. Now, I will let you inside my personal life when I'm ready to. And that's happened on this show many times in the last 2 years. But that's my decision. My personal life, my dating life, is not fodder for anybody else's radio show on this station or any other. I will be open with people about my life when I'm ready to. I won't lie to you about things. I've told you a lot about my personal life that's been a little bit uncomfortable. But I believe that we as show hosts here, like this show is about sports. It's also about us. It's about SmackDown. It's about Matty T. It's about me. It was also about Ty. It's about our relationship. And it's about us. You're getting to know us through this show. I hope that you feel that way. And I will not shut you out of things going on in my life when I'm ready. And also depending upon the other person if they're comfortable with that. But as far as I'm concerned, make fun of cats, all that kind of stuff, fine. My dating life is not fodder for anybody else's radio show. And again, I would say change my mind, but you can't. There you go.
Nor should we change your mind on that.
No way.
And you're right. I mean, we have fun. Obviously, we're going to talk sports, entertainment, pop culture. We're going to have fun with you guys. And like Phil said, we'll let you into our lives, and you let us into your lives. And we were forever grateful for that, and forever grateful for you guys doing vice versa with us. So that was very well put.
When you say sometimes that we have no secrets, we do now. So for SmackDown and Matty T, this is Phil. Be with you tomorrow. Get up, get out, and get better.